welcome to February 2 Daily Current Affairs. Our first topic for today is about the Ayushman Bharat program. The Union government is pushing this Ayushman Bharat program to build a new India by 2022. Now recently why this was in the news was due to the fact that recently the Union government has introduced two new initiatives under the Ayushman Bharat program. So recently two major initiatives were launched in the health sector under the Ayushman Bharat program. Now these two major initiatives include Health and Wellness Center and National Health Protection Scheme. Let us have a look at them one by one. Now the National Health Policy 2017, it describes these health and wellness centers as the foundation of India's health system. So you can see how much importance has been given to these health and wellness centers. 1.5 lakh health and wellness centers will be established across the country, and they will bring the healthcare system closer to the homes of the people. These centers, they will provide comprehensive health care for non-communicable diseases as well as maternal and child health services. Now these centers, they will also provide free essential drug and other diagnostic services, and the budget has allocated around 1,200 crore rupees for this particular flagship initiative. See, now in adopting these centers, contribution of the private sector through CSR and philanthropic institutions is also envisaged. Now the next major initiative under the Ayushman Bharat program is the National Health Protection Scheme. The scheme will be covering over 10 crore poor and vulnerable families. So it will cover over 10 crore poor and vulnerable families, means approximately around 50 crore beneficiaries will be there for this particular initiative called the National Health Protection Scheme. This will provide coverage up to 5 lakh rupees per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization. Why this is important for us is due to the fact that this will be the world's largest government-funded healthcare program. And the Indian media has also described it by many other terms like Modi Care, Namo Care, etc. The government has clarified that adequate funds will be given for the smooth implementation of the program. Now, what the Union government is planning is that by these two health sector initiatives under the Ayushman Bharat program, the government wants to build a new India by 2022. So this vision behind the new India by 2022 include things like ensuring enhanced productivity, well-being and avert wage loss. These schemes, they will be generating lakhs of jobs, especially for women. So this will be a tool for women empowerment also. Now our next topic is about the Global Democracy Index or the Economist Intelligence Unit's Democracy Index. This Global Democracy Index, it has raised some key concerns. Globally, democracy is in a decline. The 2017 index reports or shows the worst decline of democracy in recent years. So there was such a huge threat to democracy in 2017, especially from both state as well as non-state actors. And also in addition to that, this Economist Intelligence Unit's Democracy Index, it raises this concern that globally free speech is under attack. Now with respect to India also, this particular Global Democracy Index has become very important to us. Now why this particular index recently was frequently appearing in the news was due to the fact that on the 2017 Democracy Index, India has slipped into the 42nd place. So last year India was on the 32nd place. So now India has been slipped into the 42nd place. And also another worrying concern is that India continues to be classified among the flawed democracies. So under this Global Democracy Index, there is a category called flawed democracies, and India is categorized under this particular category. And that is also a worrying concern. Now why is there a decrease in the rank of India? This is mainly due to many factors. These factors include things like the rise of conservative religious ideologies, then increase in vigilantism, then violence against minorities and other dissenting voices. Now, which countries will be holding the top place in this kind of a Global Democracy Index? You guessed it right. It is the Scandinavian countries. So mainly this particular list, it is topped by 3 Scandinavian countries. It is led by Norway. So you have 3 Scandinavian countries at the top 3 positions: Norway, Iceland and Sweden. Now even though there is a dip in the ranking of India, India still remains the top democracy in South Asian region according to this 2017 Global Democracy Index. Those countries which are classified as authoritarian regimes by the Democracy Index include countries like China, which is at the 139th position, then Myanmar, Russia and Vietnam at the 140th position. Now, North Korea is ranked at the lowest in the index at the 167th rank. It is closely followed by Syria at the 166th rank. Now let us have a look at some important facts about this Global Democracy Index. This particular index, it ranks 165 independent states and 2 territories. This ranking, it is based on 60 indicators grouped in 5 different categories. These categories include things like electoral process and pluralism, civil liberties, then the functioning of the government, political participation and political culture. This global democracy index, one thing you need to really note down about this global democracy index is that it categorizes countries into 4 broad categories. These categories include full democracies, so mainly it includes the Scandinavian countries and all. Then flawed democracies, India is included in the flawed democracies category. Then hybrid regimes and authoritarian regimes. Hybrid regimes include countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, etc. Then you have certain countries like Russia, China, North Korea, etc. which are ranked under the authoritarian regime category. The countries are put on these 4 broad categories based on their score on a scale of 0 to 10. Now, who publishes this particular index? It is published by the Economist Intelligence Group, which is a research and analysis division of the Economist Group. This Economist Group is a UK-based media behemoth. Now, our third topic is again a very important topic. It is about the Ashgabat Agreement. Ashgabat Agreement has been frequently appearing in the news from 2016 onwards. Now, recently, why the Ashgabat Agreement is in the news is due to the fact that India has joined the Ashgabat Agreement. Ashgabat is the capital and the main city in Turkmenistan. So when it comes to the Ashgabat Agreement, the depository state is Turkmenistan. Recently, Turkmenistan, which is the depository state of the Ashgabat Agreement, it has informed India that the 4 founding members of the Ashgabat Agreement, they have agreed to admit India as a partner in the Ashgabat Agreement. They have agreed to the accession of India to the Ashgabat Agreement. Now, which all countries are these 4 founding members of the Ashgabat Agreement? It includes Iran and Oman from the Middle Eastern region. Then it includes Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan from the Central Asian region. So, Ashgabat Agreement have 4 founding members, and all these 4 founding members have to agree if India needs to be a part of this Ashgabat Agreement, and now all of them have agreed on making India a part of the Ashgabat Agreement. It will came into force on 3rd February 2018. Now, why we need the Ashgabat Agreement? This is due to the fact that the Ashgabat Agreement will help India to diversify its connectivity with the Central Asian region. And this will boost India's trade and other commercial ties with the Central Asian region. See, Central Asia is a very crucial region for India. It has a lot of oil, natural gas as well as nuclear resources. And since we does not have an option of connecting with the Central Asia, we have often been paying Asian premium when trading for oil and natural gas with the West Asian countries. So, in order to connect with this oil and energy rich Central Asian region, India has launched multiple initiatives like the INSTC or the International North-South Transport Corridor, Chabahar Port, etc. But that hasn't been much of a success. Now, this Ashgabat Agreement, it will work in sync with all these other initiatives by India in order to connect India with the Central Asian region, and it will help India to gain a foothold in the Central Asian region. And also the Central Asian countries, they are again trying to diversify their energy trade and relations. India had earlier deposited the instrument of accession to the Ashgabat Agreement in April 2016. Even though these Central Asian countries has a lot of resources, they are not as economically developed as their West Asian counterparts. And this is mainly due to the fact that these Central Asian countries, they are landlocked. Now, what this Ashgabat Agreement, what it aims to do is that it aims to connect the Central Asian countries with the Iranian and Omanian ports. Or this Ashgabat Agreement, it aims to connect the Central Asian region with the Persian Gulf region. Now, under this Ashgabat Agreement, there is a major connectivity project. This is the Iran, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan railway project, or the ITK railway project. So, Iran, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan railway project. Now, India is already building the Chabahar port in Iran. If India can build a railway network connecting this Chabahar port with this ITK railway system, that will be providing India better connectivity and trade opportunities with the Central Asian region. Although we have launched an initiative called the Connect Central Asia policy and all, India hasn't been much successful in building this kind of connectivity and other trade routes with respect to Central Asia. Our next topic is about the Godazari Wildlife Sanctuary in Maharashtra. So now why this was in the news was due to the fact that recently the Maharashtra state government has decided to designate Godazari in Chandrapur district as a new wildlife sanctuary in the state of Maharashtra. So recently the Maharashtra government has approved Godazari as a wildlife sanctuary in the state. So this particular initiative, this will be protecting the forest, and again it will be creating a lot of tourism as well as employment opportunities. This area, this is rich in flora and fauna such as tigers, leopards, bison, spotted deer, wild boars, etc. Now this particular wildlife sanctuary or the Godazari Wildlife Sanctuary, it has a special importance. This is an important corridor for wild animals who are moving from the Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve to Umrer Karhandla Wildlife Sanctuary. See the importance of this wildlife sanctuary is that this will be an important corridor for wild animals who will be moving from this Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve to Umrer Karhandla Wildlife Sanctuary as well as vice versa. Our next topic is about the nuclear fuel complex, and why this recently appeared in the news was due to the fact that Dr. Dinesh Srivastava, a distinguished nuclear scientist, has become the chief executive of the nuclear fuel complex recently. Now it is a major industrial unit of the Department of Atomic Energy. It was established in the year 1971 and it is headquartered at Hyderabad in Telangana. Now here one thing that is very important that we need to remember is that this nuclear fuel complex or NFC, it is responsible for the supply of nuclear fuel bundles as well as the reactor core components for all the nuclear power reactors operating in India. So it has to provide the nuclear reactor core components as well as the nuclear fuel bundles for all the nuclear reactors operating in India. It is a very unique facility where natural and enriched uranium fuel, then zirconium alloy cladding and reactor core components all are manufactured under one roof. So it has that sort of a peculiarity also. Its products are supplied to DAE, Indian Navy, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited or HAL, other defense organizations as well as chemical and fertilizer industries. That's all about today's daily current affairs.